How Eala moves up or down at WTA rankings. Manila, Philippines. Some fans were left confused or surprised when Filipino tennis ace Eala rose at the WTA live rankings despite getting booted out at the Philippine Women's Open, PWO, quarterfinals Thursday, elevating from 49th to a new career best 45th. It's easy to think that an Eala exit should drop any player in the rankings, right? That's now how it works when it comes to the WTA rankings. Some players, especially near above Eala, dropped in the rankings, enabling the Filipino player to move up and take the vacated spot. It could also be the case in which a player gained enormous points that she's able to leap over the players who are doing just fine. A prime example is Eala gaining 390 ranking points from her historic semis finish at the 1000 level Miami Open last March, and moving approximately from 140th to 75th in the rankings. How does a player drop or rise in the rankings? For starters, the WTA ranking system sums up the ranking points gained by a player from her 16 best tournaments in the past 52 weeks, 1 year. Once that specific tournament turned 1 year old, the ranking points gained by the player from that competition dropped off and was replaced by her latest tournament results. The cycle continues as players defend, gain, or lose points in the current tournament year. Eala gained 27 ranking points for her quarterfinal finish at the inaugural PWO, a 125-level tournament, gaining a total of 1163 and rising from 49th to new career best 45th in the live rankings. As of writing, Eala had a +4 net gain in ranking points, which most likely means she had 23 in the same tournament week, tournament day even, last year. Times this means that Eala defended those 23 ranking points and even gained 4 more since she acquired 27 in this tournament week. Some players lost their points from last year as they were unable to match or exceed how they did in the same tournament week a year ago. Case in point is world number 48 Laura Siegemund of Germany, who has a -60 in her ranking points for a total of 1111 this week. WTA live rankings update almost in real time, telling the ranking movement and points of players once their match is over. On the other hand, the official rankings only update once a week, and it's usually Monday morning here in Manila. In an era where leadership is often distilled to power or political influence, the Rotary Club of Makati presented a resounding and refreshing counter-narrative that true leadership is about service, inspiration, and legacy. On that distinguished evening at the historic Manila Polo Club, some of the Philippines' brightest youth were celebrated, not just for personal accomplishments, but for embodying the values of courage, community, and purpose. At the heart of this celebration stood Eala, a name synonymous with Filipino greatness on the global stage, alongside other exceptional youth leaders whose stories reflect the pulse of an emerging generation ready to shape the nation. The significance of the Paying Hechanova Youth Leadership Awards. The recognition bestowed that night was under the banner of the Paying Hechanova Youth Leadership Awards, PHYLA, a flagship initiative of the Rotary Club of Makati that honors young Filipinos who exemplify outstanding leadership, service, and social impact. Named after the late Rafael Paying Hechanova, a revered Rotarian and athlete whose life intertwined service and excellence, the award is meant not merely as a trophy but as a reminder of a legacy worth carrying forward. In the Rotary philosophy, leadership differs from loud declarations or singular achievements. It finds its strength in service above self, in lifting others as you rise. It is a profound testament to community, character, and contribution, values that this generation's leaders have taken earnestly to heart. Such awards help signal to youths across the Philippines that leadership is both nurtured and recognized, not because of age or prestige, but because of impact and heart. Eala, a champion beyond the court. When the name Alexandra Eala was announced, applause rippled throughout the room, not only for who she is, but for what she represents. As a professional tennis player, she has already made history, reaching a career-high WTA singles ranking of world number 49, the highest ranking ever achieved by a Filipino in tennis history. She is the first Filipino in the Open era to break into the top 50 and the first ever to beat multiple top-tier players at a WTA event, including a semifinal finish at the Miami Open. But the Rotary honor she received, Youth Sports Personality of the Year, speaks to something deeper than athletic accolades. It recognizes her influence beyond the baseline, the inspiration she brings to many young Filipinos who see in her not just athletic prowess, but discipline, resilience, and national pride. Eala's journey has been one of discipline and character, pushing boundaries and defying expectations both on and off the court. In an age where success is often filtered through social media highlights and quick acclaim, Eala's story embodies a long arc of sacrifice, rigorous training, and humility. She remains an example that excellence, in sport, academics, or service, is not accidental, but cultivated. Her recognition by the Rotary Club of Makati links sports with leadership, affirming that developing young athletes is not just about medals, but about building role models who influence minds and hearts. Recognizing multiple faces of leadership. Alongside Eala was Kyla Sanchez, another phenomenal athlete whose achievements in swimming have garnered both national and international respect. While Sanchez could not be present at the ceremony, her honor as youth sports personality places her among a cadre of leaders redefining Filipino identity in global arenas. Yet the celebration at the Rotary Club honors more than just sports figures. Each honoree, spanning sectors from advocacy to community development, represents distinct yet interconnected facets of leadership. Service innovators, whose projects have directly touched lives in education, environment, and welfare. Social advocates, mobilizing young people at the grassroots level. Cultural ambassadors, bridging Filipino identity with global platforms. In recognizing such diversity, the awards make a bold statement. Leadership doesn't wear a single uniform. It does not belong uniquely to economic elites or career politicians. It resides in those who serve, advocate, innovate, and inspire. The role of Rotary in nurturing future leaders. For nearly 6 decades, the Rotary Club of Makati has stood as a cornerstone of community transformation and civic engagement in the Philippines, embodying the Rotary motto of service above self. Its projects encompass health, education, environment, peacebuilding, and economic empowerment, but perhaps the most enduring investment is in youth leadership. PHYLA itself reflects the club's commitment to nurturing not just leaders, but servant leaders, individuals who wield influence with compassion, vision, and humility. The rigorous process of selecting and awarding these young leaders ensures that nominees are not simply achievers in their fields, but those whose actions resonate beyond personal success toward collective uplift. By shining a spotlight on these